Welcome to Mojave River News. I'm your host, James Roberts. We're going to be interviewing three candidates for Victorville City Council: Stone, McEachron, and Stevens. On this show, we're going to be covering a variety of topics with the candidates. One of the main issues within the country right now is public safety and defunding the police department. Also, we're going to talk about the homeless. What can the candidates or the city do regarding the homeless? Also, there's issues going on as it pertains to Measure P that's on the ballot this time around, the 1% sales tax to cover the public safety. It will help fire, police, code enforcement, and a variety of other issues like libraries and literacy. Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to be here.
Well, you're one of the candidates that's in this race.
Yes.
So let's just jump right into it. What are your experiences and why should people select you as their new council member?
I've got a lot of history with the city.
Okay.
I've been in the high desert for 43 years, and 33 of those years living in Victorville. But more importantly, I served as a planning commissioner for the city for 5.5 years. I served twice on the Legislative Review Committee. I've got other government experience. I was a field representative to our county supervisor. I worked as a community service officer with the Sheriff's Department, District Attorney's Office I worked for, Probation Department. So I got a lot of government experience, including several years as an employee with the City of Hesperia and City of Adelanto. So I think I bring some background that helps me to understand how government works and how to get things done. So that's something I would hope the voters would be looking for, is somebody who has some experience in government, so that when they do get elected, they can hit the ground running.
Very, very, very impressive resume there, sir.
Yeah.
What was your trigger point to get you in this race?
Well, I've got family here. My kids are here. My grandkids are here. We own homes here. We're vested in this community, and we're concerned about our future. Like I said, I've been here a long time. I have a lot of ideas I think that would help our city to survive and thrive, and I want to be able to offer those. I have the time, I have the talents, and I have the temperament to work on the council. And the reason I say that is because for the last 4 years, it seemed, there's been just constant friction, dissension, bickering, fighting among the council. And what I think I can bring is just the opposite: stability, respectability, credibility, and work like a council member should operate, not with what we've been seeing. Absolutely.
Bring law and order to the council.
That was kind of a turning point, just getting tired of seeing that, because that reflects on our city. People tune in to watch our council meetings, and they see that, they're going to think, wow, this city is, like the Wild Wild West.
Right.
So that's something I think I would be able to bring to the city. And again, I'm not looking to make a career on city council. I'm not using it as a stepping stone to higher office. I've got some ideas, and like I said, I think they're good ideas that will help our city to survive and thrive as we move ahead in the future.
And the transition from there, with the civility aspect of it, what's your position on Measure P right now?
I support it.
Good.
I'm not a big tax fan, but when you look at our crime situation here in Victorville, when you look at economic development, for example, this fiscal year, our city lost $2.8 million, last fiscal year, $2.8 million in lost revenue because of the shutdown. This current fiscal year that we're in, they're looking to lose $4.8 million. So we've got an imbalance there. You've got sheriff's contract that has to be paid, but the tax revenue, which supports the contract, is down. So we need to find a way to fill that void, and Measure P, with the first year alone, would bring in $15 million. If passed in November, it takes effect next April. That's right on time to have it implemented and to coincide with the new fiscal year, July 1st next year. So I'm in favor of it. I'm not a big tax fan, but like I said, because that money is earmarked for public safety, police, fire, code enforcement, and animal control, and if there's money left over to handle some other city issues, but that's a top priority for me, is public safety. So I'm in favor of Measure P.
Good. That's good to know, especially with the current climate right now. There's a lot of talk out there about defund police and so forth. Yeah. And we all have our opinions on that.
Sure.
But, when someone really is in need and they need law enforcement, they want to have an adequate response time.
That's right.
And that measure may assist with the number of patrol members on the street in addition to the response times.
Sure. And one thing I'd like to add, if I may, that's just one part of the equation when you talk about public safety, because if we have money to hire police, yes, it'll help improve the response times, but police can't prevent crime.
Sure.
Police respond to crime.
Right.
They are focusing on
reactive.
crime suppression.
Yes.
And I think we need to balance that with focusing on crime prevention. We as private citizens, we have to take responsibility for our personal safety and security, work in partnership with law enforcement, do things that are smart to make it harder for the crooks to carry out their crimes.
Let me jump in there. We're at the height of campaign seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Please provide the general public right there 3 of your most critical talking points that you are currently running on.
Well, the first one is economic development and financial stability.
Okay.
This city cannot function if we don't have the revenue to support our services. We need to do 2 things. One, try to attract new businesses to come in to create jobs, but we also need to spend time focusing on our existing businesses so they don't go out of business, because their jobs here, they're creating tax revenue. So economic development, financial stability is one. Making sure that we protect public safety is another one. I just talked about that with Measure P.
Right.
And then the third one is to bring some respectability to the city council, accountability. Because again, as I said, I don't want to repeat all of that, but for the last 4 years, it's been a blemish on our city the way a council has acted. And the sad part is, it's not the entire council. I don't want to name names, but I don't need to, but it's the entire council. So I think those are the 3 things: economic development, financial stability, protect public safety, and bring accountability and respectability back to the council. Those are 3 things.
Thank you, I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah.
And one of the last questions, what would be one of your solutions, or what's your thoughts on the challenges of the homeless right now in the city of Victorville?
Well, the city has already put together a homelessness task force, a good thing. They've already adopted a strategic plan, a good thing. They're already reaching out and working with other nonprofits, other government organizations, the county. So I think as long as you've got these entities working together, looking at ways to do 2 things, not just get the homeless off the street, but look at ways to understand how did they get there in the first place. And not just to get them off the street temporarily, but to find some permanent ways that these folks cannot have to, the revolving door.
Exactly. I
Okay.
apologize,
No,
I got
that's
30
okay.
seconds
No,
left.
okay.
Please look into the camera and let the general public know why they should vote for you, sir.
Okay, you need somebody that's really concerned about this city. My reason for running is not to support me. I'm not here to get insurance. I'm not here to make a career out of city council. I'm here because I'm a concerned resident, have been a concerned resident for the 33 years I live in Victorville. So I really very much appreciate your vote on November 3rd.
And how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the show. You're running for Victorville City Council?
Yes, I am.
Yes. And are you an incumbent?
No, I did serve on the council from 2008 to 2016.
Okay.
Mayor from 2010 to 2012. Didn't get reelected in 2016, but looking to get back on the council.
Right. And what's the trigger point? Why are you jumping back in, considering your experience and your time served in the community?
Well, over the last 4 years, we've had a lot of issues go on in the city of Victorville, a lot of problems on the council, and I just felt that it would be good for me to get back in there, show my leadership, show what I've been able to accomplish in the past, and kind of bring that leadership back to the council again.
That's fair enough. And what's your current employment, and what are your experiences that you could bring to the table?
So I own my own small business here in Victorville, RMAC Insurance Agency, started by my grandfather in Apple Valley back in 1962. So, I'm a 3rd generation in this business, been born and raised here in the high desert. I know what it is to sign the front of a paycheck. I know what it is to employ people. And having formerly been on the council, I know what it is to create jobs, build roads, and promote public safety. So those are my ideals, and I want to continue to bring that to the city of Victorville.
Fair enough. And you mentioned public safety right now. I've been speaking with several of the candidates, and that's been one of the hot topics, public safety, especially with the current climate right now. What's your position on defund police?
Definitely not for defunding police. In fact, what I would look to do is increase our police force, code enforcement, add additional firefighters. There's a measure in Victorville called Measure P that would actually bring an additional 1% sales tax into the city of Victorville that would help us fund those positions. So the only thing that I would look to do is increase those numbers, not decrease them.
Okay, and what about roads? As you know, up here in the high desert, everybody needs roads, and we all want good roads. A lot of us have new cars, but we hit potholes. What can you do this time around if you're elected to correct some of those issues?
Well, obviously we need to take care and maintain our existing roads, right? So we need to fix those potholes, overlay our existing streets, make sure that they're maintained. But we're also building new streets, and that's something that I did back when I was on the council before. La Mesa and Nisqually interchange would have never happened had I not been on the council. And what you see happening at Green Tree and Hesperia Road right now, there's the Green Tree extension that's going to be built in the next 2 years, and I had a big part of that because I was on Sandbag and now what is known as San Bernardino County Transportation Authority. I was able to secure loans to actually allow Victorville to build that. So building new roads, maintaining our existing roads, fixing those potholes, all of that is important to me.
Thank you, and I'm assuming with the growth here in the city, because you did serve 2 terms, what can you do this time around if elected to bring a different type of business to the high desert, or in your city in particular? You have Restaurant Row, but is there any other industry that you would like to bring forward?
Well, I really would like to build upon what we've done out at Southern California Logistics Airport, SCLA. When I was on the council, I created and helped with the council and the city create over 1,000 jobs out there. Boeing, Dr. Pepper Snapple, Plastipack, and many others. And there's a tremendous opportunity to create jobs out there because we have a center that will allow for that, right? So I would like to continue to bring that back and continue to create jobs out there. I think that that's something that hasn't been done in the last 4 years, and I would continue to do once back on the council.
You know, I'm a small business guy as well here in the high desert, and what do you think you can do regulation-wise to foster new ideas for the small business person, the person that's locked down right now due to COVID, to bring them into the business market?
Well, it's all about getting government out of the way. So the idea is that we need to make sure that government is not preventing someone with an entrepreneurial spirit from, building their own business, creating their own business, starting up a small business here in Victorville. So what we need to be able to do is make sure that government's out of the way. I'm in business. I kind of understand that better than most people, and I would make sure that we were doing that.
Thank you. And I have just one more question for you. The way the state and the cities are opening up due to COVID, is there anything you would like to see take place here in the city of Victorville in regards to opening back up so we're at full capacity? Or?
Well, obviously I'd like to see the county open us back up a lot quicker rather than later. If I was on the council now, I'd be pushing for that at the Board of Supervisors. I think there's a lot of power in local government. I think we can do things that other areas cannot, and so I would like to see us open up sooner rather than later, and I'd be pushing for that if I was there right now. But if this continues, I will make sure that happens.
All right, and we're wrapping up, and I appreciate your time this evening, sir. Right now, we need civility within the council. With your experience for your prior terms, what do you think specifically you can do to bring the other members together, where there's some form of compromise, and no one's ever just butting heads, but there's actually unity?
So when I was on the council before, I had to deal with some of these issues and some of these problems. Even then, we had, people fighting amongst ourselves. But I was able to work with those people, talk with those people, and make sure that we were able to get things done for the city of Victorville. And La Mesa Nisqually is a perfect example. That was one of those projects that could have gone down and never been built had I not had the opportunity to work with my colleagues, get them to understand the importance of it, and make sure that
And I
happened.
have 10 seconds left. Please look in the camera and let the people know why they should vote for you this time around.
My priorities haven't changed: public safety, jobs, and roads, and I will deal with the homeless problem. I know that's the #1 problem everyone has brought up to me, and I will fix it.
Thank you for your time this evening, sir. I really appreciate you being on the show.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. I am sitting with Mr. Terrance Stone,
Yes.
Victorville City Council candidate. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
I am doing great. I appreciate you being on the show. We're going to jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
Is this your first time running for public office?
This is my first time running for public office, but I'm no stranger to politics and
Okay.
office. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Do you have any leadership experience that you could transition over as a council member if elected?
Oh, yes. First off, I'm founder and CEO of an organization called Young Visionaries. We've been in the community for close to 20 years.
Wow.
Balancing budgets and all different types of things that comes with that.
Okay.
Also, too, I chaired the San Bernardino Countywide Gangs and Drugs Task Force for the past 10 years. And I'm also on a few other committees throughout the county.
Nice. And right now with the current climate, there's a lot of talk about defund the police and public safety and so forth. What's your position on that right now?
Well, my position, I'm pro good law enforcement. I feel and I know that we have good law enforcement here in the city of Victorville. I actually am on committees with the Sheriff Department as well. And so I'm just for good law enforcement. I'm also, I feel like I'm rambling.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm also endorsed by CISO, the Sheriff Employment Benefit Association.
And that's
as
huge.
well. Yes.
That's a huge endorsement. Are you
Yes.
the only one that they've endorsed?
I can't say that, but I know that I'm the only one that I know of, basically.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What's your position on Measure P?
Measure P. I think Measure P is good. I think we need, what law enforcement do need a strong budget.
Right.
Budget also our fire. It's like insurance. We can't wait till something bad happens to figure out how to fix it.
Right.
So let's fix it now.
And what's your reason for jumping into this race right now?
I'm a resident, I'm a homeowner in the city of Victorville. And so just being around and watching our city, I feel like I can add to the beauty of the city, basically, and just help us to just grow as a great city. I just want to be in that part of that process to push us forward.
Right. Is there, we're in the height of the campaign season right now. Is there anything in particular that you want to get out to the general public as to why they should select you? Are there any talking points within your campaign currently?
Sure. Right now, my 3 areas of focus is on public safety, also economic development. I feel like this is the land of opportunity because we have all this land around us. So we need to figure out how to make this land benefit us. In particular, the bullet train. We do not want to turn Victorville into a park and ride. If they're stopping here, going to Vegas, let them drop some dollars here in Victorville, come back, drop some more dollars, then they can go back to where they came from. Also, youth development. I think that we need to do more for our young people. We need more parks and recreation and things for them to do during the time of their development.
Right.
Yes.
Currently, right now in the council, have you attended any of the council meetings at all this year?
Yes.
Okay.
And also watch them on Zoom when I can't be there. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there's a lot of unrest within the chambers. Is there
Yes.
anything you could bring to the table to tap that down a little bit?
Yes. One thing about me, I'm great with people. So it doesn't matter the personality or the nationality. I'm just good with people. I'm a great negotiator. So just sitting down with the different councils and even with their differences and things like that, just bringing them to the table because the main thing is the goal. What are we sitting here for?
Right.
What's the goal that we're trying to accomplish? Let's focus on that and not the antics.
Right. I'm going to transition to business economics
Yes.
and so forth. What do you think you can do or what the city can do or propose to make Victorville more of a free spirit entrepreneur, business friendly, like on a startup? What can we do?
I think one, just attracting small and big businesses to the area. I think when people are looking about and thinking about business, I think we're just overlooked. I don't know
Right.
why, but we have to fix that. We have to be better at marketing Victorville as just a business area. So we have to let people know outside the area, inside the area, that we're here, we're open for business. Come here, let's build businesses and let's just have great business relationships, basically.
And the relationships are key. In regards, let's transition to infrastructure and roads.
Mm-hmm.
What's your position on the potholes within the city and so forth?
Yeah, potholes is always a problem.
Yes,
but
it is.
but we can fix that problem. That's an easy fix. We can just get out there, get our city workers out there, fill those potholes up, you know, so that we won't have flat tires while we're trying to get to work.
Or new alignments, right?
New alignments, basically.
All right, we only have a little bit more of that time left. You know, things are opening back up due to the pandemic. It's slowly but surely, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular locally you feel that we can do to open back up?
Well, I think the main thing we need to do is just obey the rules of the pandemic and stay masked up. We're social distance right now and sanitize, but so that we can get our numbers down, basically. And then from there, we can figure out how to open up safely and swiftly, because I'm a small business owner, and our small businesses are suffering.
Yes, they are.
So we have to figure out how to keep our businesses afloat so that we can get past this pandemic and it won't hurt us as much as it is already.
Yes, sir. All right, I only have a minute left. I want you to look in that camera, talk to your fellow Victorville residents, and pitch them and let them know why they should vote for you, sir.
Yeah. Well, my name is Terrance Stone, running for Victorville City Council. I feel like I'm the people's candidate. I'm a community person and a negotiator. I can get in there and help to get stuff done, move the dial, move the needle forward so that we can get stuff done for our city. Terrance Stone, Victorville City Council. Thank you.
That's what's up. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show. You know, I got a few more seconds. I'm going to go ahead and follow up, if you don't mind. I want to talk about civility amongst the people. You know, there's like, people are just angry.
Yeah.
What can we do in 5 seconds to just bring people together?
5 seconds, open communication. I think that right now, even with our law enforcement, we have a great line of communication.
Thank you.
So let's keep it open.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm with Eric Swanson. You're behind the scenes. What's your opinion of the candidates? Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, you know, he's an avid golfer. I know that about him. You know, but you know, he's another one of these folks. I tell you, all the candidates this time around have a lot of passion. They all have something they want to do. They're just not coming here to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
Stevens is great.
What about McEachron?
McEachron brings a lot of background knowledge, and he showed that in his interview, that he's done things, he's done it in the past here, and he's hoping to do it again.
Right, and Mr. Terrance Stone.
Mr. Terrance Stone, that's my buddy from Margaret Hill down the hill. They're buddies together. But you know, I liked it because he has this vision of what he thinks that everything needs to become.